Hello children, how are you all? Hope you all are doing well at your home. So children, from exercise 2.2 we have done till question number 6, and today we are going to start with question number 7, and then we will be starting with exercise 2.3. Fine, so let us start with question number 7. Question number 7 is match the following. First part is 425 multiplied by 136 is equal to 425 multiplied by 6 plus 30 plus 100. We have to match this with any of these terms. First is commutativity under multiplication. Here we have not used commutativity. Commutativity means we have to change the places of the numbers, but here we have not changed any place. B part is again commutativity, so it will not hold for this one. Now let's come to C part. C is distributivity of multiplication over addition. Distributivity means to distribute a number. Okay. Now here 136 is being distributed. Here we have distributed 136 into 3 parts. We have written the expanded form of 136. So that means this C parts holds for 1. This is the distributivity of multiplication over addition. So we will write it here C. C is getting hold for this. Now let's come to second part. Second is 2 multiplied by 49 multiplied by 50 is equal to 2 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 49. So children, here we have interchanged the places. In place of 50 we have written 49, and in place of 49 we have written 50 here. So it means we have changed the places here. It means we have used commutative property here. But this commutative property is for which operation? Multiplication, because there is multiplication sign here. So commutativity under multiplication will hold for this second part. So this will be A. Now let's come to third. 80 plus 2005 plus 20. And here it is 80 plus 20 plus 2005. So we have changed the places of 2005 and 20. So again there is commutative property. We have used commutative property here, but for which operation? Addition, because there is addition sign in between. So it will this B part will hold for third. Okay, commutativity under addition will hold for third. Children, is it clear to you all? I hope it's clear to you. So now we have to start with the next exercise, that is exercise 2.3. This was the solution of question number 7 from exercise 2.2. Sorry, it's not 2.1, it's 2.2. Okay, and now we have to start with exercise 2.3. Now let's come to exercise 2.3, question number 1. Question number 1 is, which of the following will not represent 0? Will not represent 0. Here we have given these 4 parts and we have to check which of them will not represent 0. So let us first solve these terms. 1 plus 0. Whenever we add 0 to a number, then the answer is the number itself. So 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 multiplied by 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is, when we will divide this 0 by 2, we will get 0. Now 10 minus 10 is 0 divided by 2. So again 0 divided by 2 is 0. So children, as you all can see, here we have got 0, here also we have got 0, here also we have got 0. But in this case, we have not got 0, this is not equal to 0. So in this A part does not represent 0. So our answer will be 1 plus 0 does not represent 0. Fine. So this is the answer of first question. Okay. What was the question? We have to check which of the following will not represent 0. So firstly we have solved. 1 plus 0 is 1. 0 multiplied by 0 is 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. 10 minus 10 is 0 and 0 divided by 2 is again 0. So 1 plus 0 does not represent 0. Rest all of them are representing zeros. Fine. Now let's move to second question. Now the second question is, if the product of two whole numbers is 0, can we say that one or both of them will be 0? What is the meaning of this question? If the product of two whole numbers is 0, suppose we are taking two whole numbers but their product should be 0. So suppose I am taking 3 and 0. This 3 and 0 both are whole numbers. So 3 multiplied by 0 is 0. Because whenever we multiply any number by 0, we get the answer 0. So if the product of two whole numbers is 0, can we say that one or both of them will be 0? Here we have taken two whole numbers, but among these two numbers, one whole number should be 0, then only you will get this 0. Yes, so you can write here, answer is 0 when one whole number is 0. This is the first case. Now we have to check that both of them will also be 0 or not. If we are multiplying 0 by 0, then again our answer will be 0. Yes, because 0 multiplied by 0 is 0. So answer is 0 when both whole numbers are 0. Okay, so it is true. Its answer is true. What was the question? Can we say that one or both of them will be 0? Yes, it is true. One or both of them must be equal to 0. Then only you will get the product of two whole numbers is equal to 0. See, 3 multiplied by 0 is equal to 0. When you are multiplying any number by 0, then only you will get the number 0. Then only you will get the answer 0. So, one whole number must be equal to 0. This is first case. Now you have to check whether both the numbers should be equal to 0 or not. So here 0 multiplied by 0 will be equal to again 0. So that is also satisfied for this statement. This answer is 0 when both whole numbers are 0. When both the whole numbers will be equal to 0, then their product will also be equal to 0. So this is true. Yes, we can say that one or both of them will be 0. Fine. So this was the solution of question number 2. Now let's move to our third question. Now our third question is, if the product of two whole numbers is 1, can we say that one or both of them will be equal to 1? Here we have to check that if we have given two whole numbers, their product is 1. If their product is 1, then can we say that one or both of them will be equal to 1? See, if we are taking 1 multiplied by 1, when we will multiply 1 by 1, the answer will be 1. So it means we are getting the answer 1 when both the whole numbers are 1. So this is true that the answer is 1 when both whole numbers are 1. If both whole numbers are 1, then only we will get the answer 1. But if suppose we have one whole number is equal to 1. One whole number we are taking 2 and another we are taking 1. So 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3. So it means here the answer is not equal to 1. Then there is only 1, 1. So answer is not equal to 1. Here the answer is not equal to 1. Okay. When we have one whole number equal to 1. So it means the product of two whole numbers is equal to 1. It can be possible only when both the whole numbers should be equal to 1. When both the whole numbers will be equal to 1, then only you will get the answer 1. If one whole number is 1, then you will not get the answer 1. Okay. So, this is false. Only what will be the answer here? Both the whole numbers must be equal to 1 to get the product 1. For getting the product 1, both the whole numbers must be equal to 1. Okay, so only this case satisfied for this question. Fine. So now we have to move to our next question, that is question number 4. Now the next question, question number 4 is find using distributive property. Here we have given the questions and we have to solve them using distributive property. Distributive property means we have to distribute the numbers. So how we can solve it? 728 multiplied by, how can we write 101? We can write it as 100 plus 1. So A multiplied B plus C is equal to A multiplied B plus A multiplied C. This is our distributive property. We have done this kind of questions earlier also. So this is equal to 72800 plus 728. Okay, now we can add them. So this will be equal to 8, 2, 7 plus 8 is 15, 2 plus 1 is 3 and this is 7. So 73,528 is the answer. How we have solved? We have distributed this 101 which is equal to 100 plus 1. Now firstly we have multiplied this 728 by 100 plus then we have multiplied this 728 by 1. 728 by 100. 728 multiplied by 100 means 728 and then 2 zeros plus 728 multiplied by 1 is 728. Then we will add them together and we will get 73,528. Now let's move to B part. B part is 5,437 multiplied by, how can we write 1001? We can write it as 1000 plus 1. Now we will multiply firstly this 5,437 by 1000 plus then we will multiply this by 1. So this is equal to 5437 000 plus 5437. Now we can add them. 7, 3, 4. 7 plus 5 is 12. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 and then 5. So this is our answer. Okay. 54,42,437. What we have done? We have just followed the same method. A multiplied B plus C is equal to A multiplied B plus A multiplied C. Then we have added them together. Fine. Now let's come to C part. C part is again same like A and B part. 824 multiplied by 20 plus 5. So firstly we will multiply 825 by 20. Then we will multiply 824 by 5. 2 4s are 8, 2 2s are 4, 2 8s are 16 and 1 0. 5 4s are 20, 5 2s are 10 and 2 12, 5 8s are 40 and 1 41. Now we can add them. I am adding it here. 16,480 plus 4,120. 8 plus 2 is 10. 4 plus 1 5. 5 plus 1 6. 6 plus 4 10 and 1 plus 1 2, which is equal to 20,600. 20,600 is our answer. So that is how we have to use distributive property here, and we have to solve these kind of questions. Okay, so this was our fourth question. Now we have to move to question number 5. Now question number 5 is, study the pattern and write the next 2 steps. What is the pattern here? 1 multiplied by 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. This is our first step. Second is 12 multiplied by 8 plus 2 is equal to 98. What are the changes in this step 1 and step 2? In step 2 we have added this 2 also here. We have added this 2 here with this one. Then we have written 2 in place of 1. So how are we doing these steps here? 1, then 12, then 123. It means 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in next step it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this 8 will remain same, and here we are using the counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. And this here we are using the reverse counting 9, then 9 8, then 9 8 7, then 9 8 7 6, then 9 8 7 6 5. So the next step will be, here it was 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, so what we have to write here? 1 2 3 4 5 and then 6, because here we have written till 5, so here we will write 6 also in the next step. Now multiplied by this 8 will remain same, and in place of 5 what will come here? 6, because we are writing the counting 1 2 3 4 5, so that in next step there will be 6. Now it is equal to the reverse counting. Here it has come till 5, so here it will come till 4. 9 8 7 6 5 and then 4. Fine. Then we have to write down the next step. Here we have written till 6. So in next step we will write till 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This 8 will remain same, and in place of 6 there will be 7, because we are writing the counting here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7. And here we are writing the reverse counting. We have written till 4 in last step. So here we will write till 3. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay. So that is how this pattern will work. Fine. So children, today we have done question number 7 of exercise 2.2 and exercise 2.3 also we have completed today. Fine. So now in our next lecture we will be revising the topics which we have done till today, and then I'll be giving you a worksheet also to solve, and on Monday I'll give you the solutions of the given worksheet. Fine. So that's all for today, students. Thank you so much.